In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, my dear Mrs. Brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome to Dawah Hard Talk series with another episode of another tough question that we get asked by the non-Muslims all the time. Today our question is that why does Islam advocate or allow female slaves, and on top of that having sex with those female slaves? As you know that there's a verse in the Quran that is repeated many times, whatever your right hand possess, أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ, which means whatever your right hand possess. Whatever your right hand possess refers to female slaves or concubines in the house, and then also the Quran or Allah is allowing to have sex with them. That's gross. That's disgusting. This is what we get told. And how can you allow that? How is that possible and permissible? How can God, allow such a thing? It's disgusting. Well, first of all, we have to understand something in the background that Quran is not advocating to enslave people, number one. Second, Quran is not saying that you have to have this. Quran only came as an injunction to the society and the people. As you know, the Quran was revealed over 23 years of time, bits and pieces. The verses of the Quran from different chapters, they were revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, at various different instances. So Quran was not revealed all in one shot, in one time, like a book. Rather, it was a gradual revelation based on a compilation of various different revelations that came down to Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him. That's point number one. Point number two, that it needs to be understood that the Arab society predominantly was a slave-oriented society. They had slaves who they had for working for them. The Arab masters that would use these slaves to get their work done, farm work done, trade, business things done, hardcore labor kind of things done. And many of them had these female slaves and their male slaves. So if an Arab master, Arab person, master owner had female slaves, it was in their possession. They didn't marry them, but they had these slaves in their house. So the Quran is saying that yes, is acknowledging that since you have these slaves in your house, it is permissible to have sex with them, intercourse with them. And it's not really advocating it because Quran gradually eradicated slavery. It did not abruptly end slavery. It did not say that from today slavery is forbidden, so tomorrow free all the people. Rather, the Quran gave rules and regulations, injunctions to the Muslims, to the people, that what they were already practicing before Islam, before the advent of Islam, before the coming of Islam and the revelation of Quran, the slave culture and slave mentality amongst the Meccans and the Arabians over there was very, very high. So the Quran only came to acknowledge that you have this and this is permissible, but at the same time, the Quran also advocated that you need to free the slave as a penalty for various sins, or as a good deed, you can free the slave. One of the best good deed that was advocated in that time was free a slave. So Islam abolished slavery by encouraging people to release and free the people. In fact, the rich people, the rich Muslims, they were encouraged and advocated to buy a slave and free them. So this way you can eradicate slavery gradually. Why didn't Islam abolish slavery abruptly? Because then it would create chaos, anarchy within the society, the social fabric of society, the dimensions of society were such that they were heavily relying and dependent on slaves for work. So therefore, it had to be done gradually. People had to be weaned off gradually so that there is not an abrupt reaction. Now, coming to the issue of having sex with a female, because Allah is saying here, acknowledging that because this is your slave, your possession, you possess them. Although it's not saying in any way that this is a good thing, but it's saying that you are allowed and permissible to have intercourse and sex with that person because they are in your possession, you have purchased them. Because the question that came up was, is it permissible to have sex with such an individual that is in your possession, besides a wife? And of course, the best thing that could be done was to marry that slave. And once you marry them, they are free and they are part of your society and your culture. But what about those people who have slaves in their house? Can it be allowed or not? So the only thing that Allah allowed was that, yes, it is permissible. Had it not been permissible, then a lot of people will be committing rape or fornication, adultery. In order to save the society from all that menace and chaos of adultery and fornication and rape, this injunction was given only to those people who possessed. But on the contrary, they were encouraged to release them, to free them, and not keep them in captivity. So we have to look at the whole context. What non Muslims do is they pick things out of context, they pick this verse out of context and bombard on us saying that, oh, you are so disgusting and gross, you are allowing such a thing. And let's look at it today in 2021. There are no female slaves around the whole world. There's no Muslim that enslaves a woman. So technically, this verse is no longer applicable today in today's society. This verse was revealed 1400 years ago when the society was predominantly in a slave culture. Today, you cannot enslave any woman or any man because Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, came and he forbade that. He told people you cannot enslave a free person. So therefore, today, no longer Muslims can enslave a free person or a free woman and then have sex with them just because the verse is saying that. So this is the biggest misconception people have, and we need to clarify that by telling them that Islam was revealed for the current situation that people were facing in that time 1400 years ago. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.